Dear fly fishermen from all over the world, welcome to my workshop here in France to have another talk about active nymphing. Today I want to explain you the hotspots for the active nymphing method. And to characterize these hotspots, because in the previous video I explained to you that the method I propose to you will allow you to fish only 80% of the river, roughly. So you must focus on the fast waters, but there's a definition for what I call fast waters. So in this video, I will propose you to analyze the hotspots for active nymphing on 4 points. 1. Finding the feeding veins. 2. The surface rippling. 3. The available depths. And 4. The flow speed. If you are able to analyze these 4 points on any river, and if you use the indicator I propose you and the collection of nymph with weights, the ballast that you know, if you know how your nymph behave on the water, you will be able to fish all over the world. So let's go for the first part of this video. To find the suitable spots for the active nymphing method I propose you, you must find the feeding veins on a river. So you must have like a sense of water, and I will propose you pictures here to explain what is according to me a feeding vein. Like on this river in Slovenia, there is no feeding vein. It's full flat, there's no hot spot. So this is not a good spot for the method I propose you. So just walk and find another spot. Here is good to fish for sight nymphing or on the dry fly. This is not the nymphing method I propose. Here it's getting better because it's a bit more rippled and it's a bit deeper. So there's still no feeding vein for tension nymphing like I do, but it's getting better. But still here the fish will see you. So this kind of spot, not for the active nymphing method. Here it's looking really good. You can see a feeding vein clearly here. You see there is a minimum depth, there is places for the fish to hide. Here you can read that there is way that the fish can have shelter here. So that's the very first point of my method and the very first point in nymphing. You must find the right place to practice a given method. Another example here. It's looking good, right, for nymph, okay? Tension nymphing here can be really good because you can see a main vein here in red, and you must look well and think for the future of your day when you're fishing, because there's another feeding vein on the background, a small one in red. Okay, so these are spots suitable for the active nymphing method, fishing in wading, tension nymphing. All the other spots that are too flat, no way to fish them. Move away, wait for the fish rising, but this method I propose you will not be efficient. But I guarantee it's like on all the rivers on the planet, like 80% of the river are proposing spots that are fishing with the tension nymphing method I propose you. So this example here, that's a trap. There's no feeding vein here. It's full flat. You see no directional vein. There's no way to make a precise drift. It's like a desert. It's no way to fish here. So again, this kind of spot, move away. Another example. Looks great, no? Here, that's a perfect example for tension nymphing. There's a straight, very nice vein right here that you can prospect. Then you can try the weight of your nymph. You can make a strategy. You can understand if your nymph is too heavy or too light, and then play with a collection of nymph in such a vein. So again, I come back to my collection of nymphs, and you begin to understand that, alright, this balanced collection of nymphs will adapt to any spot. And this is where I want to bring you. I want you to see a reflection on the river, on the collection of nymphs that I propose you. Very fast water, heavy nymph. Very calm waters, light nymph. This is all the job you will have to do to be active in your nymphing and catch more fish. So point number 2, the surface rippling. It's really important because you will practice this active nymphing method mainly wading in the water, so the surface must be rippled enough for the fish not to see you. Like here in action, you can see our subaquatic vision. So I will take again more examples. Here the water is really low and the surface is just rippled by the wind. It's not good enough to practice the tension nymphing I propose you. So move away on spots like this. Here it's a bit more rippled, but there's no main vein. Understand, you must have a sufficient rippling and a main vein to fish it. So it's too clear, no main vein, move away. Here it's getting better, but the problem is that the depth is too low. It's not deep enough. The water is running on it really fast. You will not be able to perform an efficient drift here. Here, good rippling, it looks deeper, but there's no main vein to fish. So if there's no main vein, you will fish everywhere and you won't be able to locate the fish. So it's really hard to fish this kind of surface with my method, so I prefer to move on other spots. Same example, no main vein, nice rippling, maybe you can do wading here, but no main vein. So how do you localize the fish? It's turning better here. There's a start of main vein. You can do tension nymphing here. It's starting to getting better. You see, there's like a corridor of water. You can see here that there's a way to perform a nice drift and to localize the fish. Better here. Now it's really rough, so it's an example of rippling. And here, super rippling, very, very rough waters. Also, these are extreme waters. These are not the best waters to fish because it's too rough, too rapid, and there's not a perfect main vein to fish here. But that's a good spot to fish with orange and flashy nymph. You can fish that spot. So, what I want to tell you, like, this example here is really extreme. You will not fish here because it's too rough. You can take some fish, but it's really, really rough. What I want to help you to do with active nymphing is to tell you that the way you analyze the rippling of the water will help you to guess the depth of the river, and then you will know if it's deep enough for fish or not. You can read the surface like a book to guess what's going on under, about the depths, about the rocks. Third point, available depths, of course. If there's not enough depth, you know that trouts and grayling, they are feeling afraid, they are not feeling secure, so they rarely stay in spots like this. You can fish them in spots like this with tight nymphing or dry fly, but again, with tension nymphing, it's not the case. So, illustration here. What I advise you is to always practice nymphing with polarized glass, no matter what method you fish, because it allows you to assess the depth of the river. Personally, I cannot fish without polarized glass because I don't have information about the depth of the river. It really helps you to know the depth of the river, and then you will know which weight of nymph you will use, and then you will start your strategy. So, example here, there's not enough available depth. The water is crystal clear, so it's not a good spot for active nymphing. Here it's getting better. There's a nice ripple, but it looks like there's very few depth, and you will just arrive on the side of the river and the fish will go away. So don't concentrate here. Here, same case. You can guess the bottom of the water. Tension nymphing, as I propose you in my method, is not good here. Here it will be good for sight nymphing or any method that I'm not a pro on, and I won't speak about these other methods. Here it's getting better. There is more rocks, more cages, but still the depth is really low, and the fish will see you from far away, so that's not a good spot. Here we arrive on a very good example, because it's like the minimum suitable spot to do tension nymphing, because you can see here in the middle of the river there's like a drop, you know, where trout and graylings can stand. But on the side with the red arrows, you see there's not enough water. But if you analyze well, you can see that here in the middle you can make a drift with your nymphs, and again you will have to look at the collection of nymphs and make the strategy, okay, which weight of nymph for this depth and this speed of stream. But first of all, you must read the river to find the suitable spot for your method. Or you try, like I told you, 20 different methods, and if you want to fish all the nymphing method, at the end you will fish nothing. Here, that's a good spot. You see, it's deep enough, there's a nice main vein, the rippling of the water is really nice, so you can go wading here and perform some tension drift here. That's a really good spot. You see the main vein here, but you can have fish even closer to you. So on this kind of spot, you will start with low weight nymphs, and then you will increase the weight of the nymph as the flow is getting deeper. Oh, that's a nice spot here, okay? Here, many different available spots, many pocket waters for trout. So here there are tons of spots. There is some place deep, some place deeper. So you must read the water and again look at your collection of nymph and say, okay, on this spot on the right, this weight of nymph is good. On the left, this one is good. But I will explain you later on in the case studies which nymph to choose according to the spot. That's just an introduction to the active nymphing method I propose you. Have a look at the case studies. There will be really detailed information on how to fish and how to choose the nymph according to the spot. So last point, the flow speed. That's a very important point because this method is practiced 99% of the time wading. So if the flow speed is too low, then when wading you will scare the fish. So you must select spots like here on the picture where wading is possible. Also, I put a picture of this ceramic nymph in the water. I will speak a lot later about the ceramic nymphs because the flow speed must be fast enough for the fish not to be scared. But if it's too fast, your drift will not be efficient. So there are spots that are really too fast waters for tension nymphing. You must find the balance. If it's not fast enough, fish will be scared. If it's too fast, the drift will last like 2 seconds. It will be a useless drift. And generally, fish don't stand in super fast waters. So example here, no way to do tension nymphing. How do you want to find a main vein here, to make wading here? There's no ripple, you just enter in the water. That's just a good spot for dry fly fishing. And here it's another extreme case. It's too dangerous, too fast. You cannot make wading here. And in all these white waters, there's very few fish. There will be fish behind rocks and stuff, but you know, this spot is really too dangerous and the drift will go really fast. That's not the best place to do nymphing. That's an example here of me fishing in Switzerland in a very powerful alpine river. So that's an acceptable flow speed where you can stand in the water. It's really sportive. I love that, to stand in the water like this. So it's the kind of fastest water you can fish with the active nymphing. And here, for me, it's a perfect example of water vein I will fish with the active nymphing method. There are tons of veins like this in many rivers in the world. You have a main vein, really well present here. It's really easy to see that there's an evidence of a water vein on the picture. The depth is like between 1 to 2 meters. It's perfect for wading, for the approach. And the surface is nicely rippled. So that's a perfect spot. That's another perfect spot. You can see the stream is not that fast. There is a ripple on the surface and you can make wading with no danger here. So this is another good spot. So now we will go for the second part of this video. Again, you must always come back to your nymph collection. You look at the river, you look at your nymph box. You look at the river, you look at your nymph box, and you make a strategy. You must choose the weight of nymphs according to the spot you are fishing. So now I make to you an introduction to the case studies, because I will propose you a full selection of case studies all around the world, where you can see here I will propose you the rig I use, the nymphing line, the rig, according to a spot, and which nymph I will choose according to the spot, which is the most important point. So it really can help you to go and look at the case studies on my channel, because you will have really defined utilization of my nymph collection according to the spot, and then you will understand that knowing the weight of your nymph is the most important thing to know when you want to be successful in nymphing. Believe me or not, again, if you use many nymphing methods, you will not focus on the good point. You don't need that much method. What's important is the quality of the drift and the knowledge of your nymph's weight. Is my nymph drifting close from the bottom and naturally? This is the two key points in nymphing. So that's the end of this video. See you soon for another video.